I'm glad to be back in Thailand, and even though this kind of funny feeling to be speaking English to a group of Thai in Thailand, I'll do it anyway. What Dr. Kaupong mentioned just now made me feel very old. In fact, I'm very old. Have to admit the truth. Over the last 40 over years in healthcare, we were privileged, many of us who are my age. Well, very few of you are my age. All of you are the newer generations. During my time, we have seen how healthcare have changed, and changed beyond recognition. So today we are going to talk a little bit about transformational leadership in this fast-changing healthcare. And the meaning of quality also changed together with changes in healthcare. Let's take a look. I like this statement by Peter Drucker, the guru of management. He said, healthcare is the most difficult, chaotic. I like the word chaotic. When Professor Tan was talking about his hospital, I can't help but say, well, his hospital is very orderly. But no matter how orderly it may be, it's still quite chaotic. And also a very complex industry that we are in. We do not want to praise ourselves. It's not easy to be a leader in a hospital. Now from here on, the bad news is, bad news for you, good news for me, because I retired already. I'm no longer active in administration. Bad news for you is healthcare will continue to be even more chaotic and even more complex. The definition of quality is changing. The definition of a good hospital is changing. And how do we follow up? How do we catch up under these type of circumstances? I always believe, I'm not an expert in quality, I'm not. I always believe that quality is a journey. And if quality is a journey, we can never achieve quality. We just achieve a certain step in quality. And may I say that the journey of quality, the journey in quality, is even more important than the sheet of paper that eventually we will get when we get HA or JCI. Many of you will remember years ago, to show what type of kway teow is aroy. There is a Cheo Chuan Chim. Mom Raja Onetime also has his bowl of as a symbol of quality. Now, HA is not that Cheo Chuan Chim, may I say. HA is a journey. Because the journey that we pass by, that we go on the last year, 2 years, in order to achieve what we talk about celebrating HA today, is a journey that is just about to begin as we receive that sheet of paper. Am I right? If we do not think of this as the beginning of a journey, may I predict that 3 years down the road, you will have a hard time. Because you think that that's the end, and 3 years down the road, quality standard changes, the environment change, and we are still managing the hospital the same old way. So I like to think of the journey as a continuous improvement. I like to think of the journey as part of the leadership that we all should be. An effective leader is needed to guide the hospital team in this journey of quality. There's another John by the name of John Maxwell. I'm not John Maxwell. John Maxwell is an expert in leadership, and he says that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Not so easy. It's easy to be a leader who shows the way, but the person who shows the way may not be the person who knows the way. if a leader is frank with himself. What is leadership? Before defining what is transformational leadership, look, what is leadership? This definition, I helped coin this a little bit, but the original author, I don't know who. So it's something I got from somewhere and put it together. Say, leadership is the ability to understand and utilize your own talents. We're talking about you as a leader, I as a leader. And also to effectively leverage the natural strength of your team to accomplish the mission. Take a look at this. A mouthful to say. There are actually 4 simple concepts inside here. The key concepts are, number 1, the talent of a leader. I go very fast because I'm sure this thing you all can download somewhere, right? This is not copyrighted, so you can do whatever you want with whatever I say, which may not be the best. The talent of a leader, we must know who we are, what we can do, and what we cannot do. A leader that does not know himself or herself may be someone that is leading us blindly. Knowing our strength is just as important as knowing our weakness. Second key concept is what I like a lot, is the term we call leverage. The best illustration of a leverage is when you hit a nail into a piece of wood and you found out that you put the nail in the wrong place. What do? You take the other side of the hammer and you pull it out. The way you pull it out is a term in physics, we call it leverage. You try doing it by your own finger. What happened? You can't pull it out. But with the other side of the hammer, almost say, with the other side of the corn, with the other side of the hammer, you can pull it up. Now, the knowledge that we have, the policy that we have, the good results that we have, the achievement that we have, no, doesn't say that. It says a higher level of morality and motivation. Why is this so important? With motivation, we will learn. With morality, we know how to do the right thing. Whereas if I know only knowledge of today may be out of date by tomorrow. I used to read a lot of books, but nowadays I read less books because I know that my books are at least 2 years old, which in some cases is 2 years out of date. So I read electronic books, I read electronic articles, and when I read electronic articles on the internet, you know how much nonsense are in Google, all right? You can find my name in Google, but there are a lot of nonsense inside there, okay? You look for John Lee, you get it, there will be a John Lee Hooker. That's his name, John Lee Hooker. He's a musician. So if we depend on things of the past as our guide for the future, no. The success of the past is no longer a guide for the future. We have to raise each other. Why raise each other? In the olden days, a leader is someone who knows more than his followers. Am I right? You know more, you have a master's degree, or you have a PhD, then you know more, and if you know more, you can lead the others who are not as knowledgeable. Is it true now? I have several of my students. I said my students, I used to teach almost full-time in nursing school, teaching public health. And I have several of my students, in fact, more than a dozen, and some of them may be here in this building now, who were my students, and they now have higher degree than I. Why? Because I stopped going to school, and they continue going to school. They are PhD, EDD, Doctor of Science. I even have a student who has double doctorate degree. I stop learning. I age. More important, I become foolish. True? Yes. Have to admit that. So that morality, raising each other up, is more important than I know and you don't know, and I keep that level different, I know and you don't know, so that I can be your boss. We have this saying, you play your card very close to your chest. Why? Because I want to know what you don't know. You don't know what is in my card, what's on my card. Then I can surprise you. Isn't that the truth with business? People who know will do business and make money from those who does not know. This happened just the last few weeks. Those who predict that the US interest rate is going to go up and the US dollar is going to go up, they buy first. Have you done hedging? You know the interest rate is going to go up. You know the dollar is going to go up. You hedge beforehand. So the knowledge people who knows, take advantage of those who does not know. Nowadays, it's no longer that way. Those who know will stay knowledgeable for a short period of time only. And that gap is becoming shorter and shorter and shorter. Eric Hoffer, the learned will be beautifully equipped to be in a world that no longer exists. The essential point of leadership in transformation or transformational leadership is to create shared value. We no longer can use command. We can no longer say that I will punish you if you do not perform. Just now, Prof. Tan was talking about how to deal with people who are naughty. Okay, I've done this in Hong Kong one time. I did not want to disturb him. I did it before the days of IT. All right. In those days, it was the medical record was still all handwritten. We say we publish a list of people who have the highest number of incomplete medical record with no name. So number 1, 200. Number 2, 150, and so on. So the whole list. Then at the same time, I also give a list with name to each of the doctor within the group. Now, after doing this in Hong Kong, I could not go back to Hong Kong for a long period of time. So when I do this, can you imagine a group of 20 doctors, and all of them have on their hand a sheet of paper with their name and their number of incomplete medical record with their ranking. And look at this one, and everybody tried to keep that card. The next thing was more difficult. I announced, all of you have doctor's fee, right? All of you have doctor's fee, and your doctor's fee is collected by the hospital, and we pay you once a month. If you don't come down to zero by the 15th of the next month, your doctor's fee will not be paid to you. So that means by the end, the 15th of next month, we take a look at this. Those who are 250 unfinished record, no doctor's fee. That's why I said I cannot go back to Hong Kong for several months. There are people who are that way. We use punishment, but nowadays, punishment, time change, doesn't mean a thing. I go somewhere else. I've been looking at different essential points of transformational leadership, and I come down with 5 essential points. Now, I may be wrong, it may be incomplete, chances are it is incomplete, but I'd like to share with you, these are the things that work for me quite well. A transformational leader is one who has presence as opposed to absence. Yeah, when we go to a hospital, that is a person who is present. Now, I didn't use the term omnipresent. Omnipresence means you are present everywhere, but almost present everywhere. A hospital administrator, a leader, should be present. Now, present doesn't mean he has to be there 24 hours, but when something goes on, he is aware of it. Second essential point of a transformational leader, I believe, is he is authentic. Authenticity is important. You know, you look at my face and you don't see an unreal person, I hope. Now you see me as an unreal person, whatever I say to you is unreal. Am I right? If I'm your leader and whatever I say to you is unreal, therefore whatever instruction I give are also unreal. Or whatever policy I utter will also be unreal. So authenticity is very important. Next concept is integrity. You know, white is white, black is black. I will never say something that is black as white or the other way around. Integrity. In fact, integrity is essential in many professions, especially hospital. Why do I go to certain hospital and not to another one? Because I can entrust my life to this hospital. Why do I go to a doctor instead of another one? Because I can entrust my life to this doctor. He has integrity. In times of change, a leader who is a transformational leader has to be creative. And because we all go through a lot of stress, we need a lot of love. It was John Nesbitt who said, in high-tech society, the more high-tech you are, the more high-touch you must be. High-tech, high-touch. The essence of high-touch is love. Let's look at this a little bit more. Presence. A good leader is one whose shoes are worn before the seats of their pants are worn. Who said this? John Muzi. This is not Confucius. Okay, now, true, a leader that does not walk around in the hospital, but sit in his office all the time, he has to go to a tailor more often, or go to Mark and Spencer more often. I'd rather a leader goes to Hush Puppies more often. I'm wrong now, because Hush Puppies sells clothing too.
Go to Skechers.
True or not? True. I like to think it is true. Okay? I'm a person who does not like to sit down. I make round. I say to myself, if doctors make round, why can't me, as a CEO, make round? I don't have fixed time for making round, but essential time of making round is in the morning. Oh, wrong. How about evening? How about 2 a.m.? I used to do that during my younger days, until they call me the policeman. What should I do if I were called a policeman because of making round at 2 a.m.? I decided to make round at 2 a.m. without just walking past like a police making inspection. I went to a nursing station, sit down, ask them, how is your evening? How many, without caring for our team members? I can be sure our team members becomes our patient. That's the last thing we want. In times of crisis, like SARS, like Kai Wan Nok, H1N1, yeah, a lot of things. Do we care for our people? if we have this essence that we mentioned just now, then we need to create shared vision and value. Shared vision and value are not the vision and value of one person. Therefore, I don't like the idea of people trying to say that we are doing this according to the vision, according to the policy of our CEO. I don't like that. Why? Because if it is my policy as the CEO, then what if I do wrong? All my policies are gone. I want them to share this vision. I want them to share this value. Over the years, there were many, many times that we have to create this shared value. I'll share with you only one. Not to praise me or praise my success, but to share with you how we did it. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard the term or have done the practice of what we call evidence-based decision-making, evidence-based diagnosis, not just part of imagination. And this happened in Penang 30 some years ago. Some of you know I was in Penang as the CEO of a hospital. And the hospital had just gone through a crisis. And I was, like I say, 37 years old. And we were saying that after we have gone through a crisis, we better get together and look at the future. And say, how do we work out our strategic plan for the future so that we can become successful and avoid all these crises again? So we did. We got together in a group. And a friend of mine who was 2 years younger than I, 2 or 3 years younger than I in school, he came back from UK from his residency in surgery. And he was going back, he was going to UK again to continue his residency in cardiac surgery. So sitting there, we invited Dr. Poi to come in, and we were sitting together. And as usual, a young leader, I shared with them my dream and my vision and told them what I imagined the hospital would be like. And he was brave enough, maybe because he was my schoolmate. He said, John, you share with us your vision, which is very nice. But what evidence do you have to know that 20 years from now, the hospital will be like this? Now, he is always an outspoken person. I knew him from school. So I said, when he says something, I better listen to his outspokenness. Otherwise, he's going to bug me all the time. So I said, Alfred, can you please share with me what you think? And he came prepared. Has a stack of paper. He said, right now, in this island, on this island, we have only one cardiologist. We don't even have a cardiac surgeon. And statistics shows that as the country progresses, we have more cardiac patients. And as we change our lifestyle, that was 30 years ago. You know? Yeah, and as we change our lifestyle, there will be more cases, and there will be more need for cardiology and cardiac surgeon. Now, as usual, most doctors are very self-glorifying, and I am the future cardiologist. Now, what should I say? As the CEO and someone saying, you are not quite right, I'm right. Thai people say, 放了满载. I listen to you and I feel so full inside here. Is that the right translation? Okay, so I say, well, I almost say that by saying, well, Alfred, please share with us. And he shared with us. And his vision is the hospital 20 years from now will be the #1 cardiothoracic surgery and cardiology center in northern Malaysia. Now, he went more than that. He said, well, let's look at this. Our hospital has this, which is good. And our hospital does not have this, which is no good. So in order for us to achieve that, may I suggest we have to do this? This went on for 3 days. Not continuously. Every evening after our we came over, hashed over this. Eventually, a decision was made that we would like to be the first cardiac program, full cardiac program in Penang. After that, he went back to London, and then he came back, graduate, FRCS, Wong Lab, record, cardiac. Then we go into conflict because I was too slow and he was faster, which I admit in those days it was a bitter conflict. After a while, I left. As administrator, I was there for 5 years, then I left. And eventually went back to see him. They did start a cardiac program. Then I didn't go and see him for many, many more years. We kept in touch by email eventually. Conflict, yes, but still friend. Then one day, I was in Kuala Lumpur, CEO of Grand Eagles Hospital in Kuala Lumpur, and we have a very good, Grand Eagles has a very good pediatric cardiac surgery program under Dr. Lee. Not this Dr. Lee, but the Dr. Lee who was a surgeon. And he's still there, Dr. Lee, Lee Weng Seng. And I got a phone call from Alfred. This friend who had conflict with me and who went on to become the #1 cardiac surgeon in Penang. He called me, said, John, I need your help. I have a patient that I need Dr. Lee to operate on. I'm bringing the patient over and hope we can get together and chat. He came over, and in front of some of my colleagues there, he said, this is a guy who worked together with me 30 years ago and set up the cardiac program. And by then he was saying to me, he said, I also know that the future is not bright for me as a cardiac surgeon, not because he's getting old. When he started, he has 1 cardiologist, 1 cardiac surgeon, and he has enough referral from that 1 cardiologist to keep him busy all the time. He said now he needs 9 cardiologists to keep him busy, and even that he's not that busy because the last 30 years, balloon, stand, you name it, you know more than I do. Time have changed. Alfred have changed. He just retired recently, and he was happy. I was very happy with him that 2 of us, together with the others in the team, were able to come up with something new for that hospital. We have shared vision. And shared vision does not come from my sitting in my office, wearing up my pen, and then writing a vision statement and post it on the board that this is my Visaitat. No, it doesn't come from that. It comes from a group struggling together. It comes from a group struggling together, saying that this is where we want to go together. And if I do not get it together, if I do not get it as a group, then people will be thumping their nose at me and say, John, you go and do it. Wish you success. And if I fail, they'll be pointing the finger at me and say, I told you so. Not only that, the important thing is if it is a shared vision, that vision will be sustainable because it is not the vision of one person. In this day and age when things are changing so fast, I cannot rely on my vision and cannot trust that my vision will be valid for the next 20 years. Because what is correct today may be wrong in 5 years' time, or in 3 years' time, or may be even wrong by tomorrow. Shared vision is very powerful. Creating shared vision and value is what a leader needs to do. Peter Senge, again, a writer on leadership, he said, when people truly share a vision, they are connected, bound together by a common aspiration. Personal vision derives their power from an individual's deep caring for the vision. So that vision that we have, that vision that we all share together, that vision may be what we're talking about right now in this big hall, impact quality. It may be going one step further, not only quality in general, quality in specialty. Excellence. Excellence in our practice of medicine. But when we all are together sharing that vision, it's like this group of ants, willing to be stepped on by the others at times, and willing to walk over the others at times without killing them, or even be willing to kill, to be killed, to die. How do I pray for you every night? Do I pray that more people get sick so that my son's hospital can have more patients? Or should he say, everybody be healthy, and then you have no patient? My answer, Mom, do not pray for that. Pray that everybody gets sick. No, it's sinful. Pray that everybody become healthy. But if they do get sick, let them go to my son's hospital and not other hospital. Yes, she had been praying until she passed away every day that way. That's why I was so successful in my healthcare career. I don't think it is sinful, but it is our duty, if we are in for-profit hospitals, to return what we earn to the community. What we return to them is not medicine, it's good health, quality of life. Healthcare's paradigm has changed. Fish no longer swim from one body of water to another body of water. They jump. Oh, no, not real. It's not real. But healthcare is real. It's changing so fast that I don't know where tomorrow's healthcare will be. These two fellas, Cutler, we all have read. The other guy, John. I put him up there not because he has a name, John. They say in their book, turbulence with its consequence, chaos, risk, and uncertainty is the new normality for industries, market, and companies. All these changes, chaotic and so on, are becoming the new normal. It is no longer normal to be normal. It's normal to be changeable. It's normal to be chaotic. How do you define quality of healthcare in chaotic? A doctor used to say to the patient, take this medicine, 3 days from now you'll be getting well, 7 days from now, if you should get well earlier, make sure this medicine you take 7 days. Otherwise, this antibiotic, you don't take all, you have a problem. Nowadays, I go and see my doctor, check my blood pressure. Congratulations, your blood pressure is high. And from here on, take tenomine, and you take once a day, and you take it for the rest of your life, another 30 years. Absolute cure is no longer a symbol of quality, an indication of quality of healthcare. Right? Cancer, diabetes, hypertension, cardiac problem, knee problem. Well, knee problem can be absolute cure, knee transplant. But not the same. Absolute cure is no longer the object of healthcare. But quality of life, while we still have the disease, is the objective. More important, prevention of disease, healthy lifestyle. That's why you see so many fitness centers. Some are real, some not so real. This is a new normal. Where does your hospital stand? Where does a healthcare leader stand? Leadership of the past and the future, I like to compare this way. Again, I may be wrong. Leaders of the past are the ones who have knowledge. Leaders of the future are the ones who have the ability to acquire knowledge. Because knowledge of the past may be non-knowledge of the future. So acquiring new knowledge is even more important than having knowledge itself. In the past, we say a leader has power. I open my mouth, people follow me. Now we say a leader has influence. I don't even have to open my mouth. My whole group, my team member has shared vision. They will do it. In the past, we said a leader has vision. So the team member depend on me for their vision. Leader of future, they develop shared vision. Leaders in the past say they are great winners. Leadership in the future, they'll emphasize a winning team. So we all win together. May I suggest this to be what we remember as a leader for quality of care? Leave this question with you. Where are you in this chaotic healthcare? Where are you as a leader? Where am I as a leader? Any question? May I advertise a little bit? I'm a retired person. I don't expect my business to continue growing, but I do expect to have more friends. So if you care to be my friend on Facebook, you're welcome to copy this down. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on my page in Facebook or LinkedIn. That is where we can exchange ideas. That's where you can see the type of stupid thing I put on, and you share with me your thinking. Okay? I'm quite active on Facebook page, putting in a lot of interesting things in there. Okay? Thank you.